Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage, welcome back to our empty looking race truck. So unfortunately we do not have any good news to report on the engine for the race truck. We are waiting on parts. Parts availability is a big issue right now, and it's getting, catching up with us. We are waiting on sleeves for the engine. We don't even have an ETA on when we can get sleeves. So the one cylinder of the engine was, cylinder number one was in pretty bad shape. So either way, we needed at least one sleeve. Well, since we've decided the deck plate, we need 6 of them, but the wait time is going to be the same. Whenever they're going to make them, rather than making one, they're going to make 6. So we're waiting on sleeves, and we don't even have an ETA. So needless to say, we won't be going to Shides. I was, debating about going and taking the Ford with the race trailer. I even contemplated taking the second gen in the race trailer, or even just taking the Ford out as a tow vehicle / race vehicle and run ET. But we are waiting on parts for the trailer as well. So as you guys know, we ripped the bathroom apart a little bit, pulled the shower out. I have one part of that, but I do not have all the parts to reassemble it yet. We're still waiting on some components for that. So we can't take the race trailer, so I just decided, you know what, we're not going to Shides, even though it's an event I really wanted to go to. Instead, we'll stay here and work on the drag truck. So, as you can see, we have our engine plate in the drag truck, and behind that is our mock-up transmission, our empty 48RE. So, the reason that our 48RE, or our mock-up 48RE, is in and our engine adapter plate is in as well is because I wanted to bolt it up, and I just wanted to, rather than putting nuts on the outside of the bolts, I wanted to just bolt it to the adapter plate, make sure everything was kind of, true and right. Because tonight we are going to be eliminating this transmission cross member. So, if you guys remember, we made this piece right here. It was about 9 pounds. We cut that down from like the 18 the factory is. But since we have our mid plate and nothing's moving around, there's no need to have this additional bushing, mount thing for the engine cross member. And we can also get rid of this piece right here. So I figure we can lose some weight. I will weigh this real quick, tell you what this weighs, and maybe we'll be able to lose a little bit of weight off the truck. So as you can see, this entire thing weighs 13.6 pounds. Yeah, there's a little bit we can cut off of that, not a whole lot, but how we're going to cut some weight is we're going to go to a little bit more of an extreme. We're actually going to completely remove the transmission mount on either side. So that's this plate that goes back here on the frame, kind of wraps up here a little bit, and same thing on the inside. And then we will devise our own mount, which will just bolt right to the overdrive housing and right to the frame, something of that sort, and see if we can make this whole setup a little lighter. Now, I'll be honest with you, between the cross member and the pieces on the frame, maybe we're talking total of 20 pounds on the truck. If we could cut that in half, great. If we even cut 5 pounds out, great. So I really don't have an expectation of how much weight we're going to lose, but hopefully we can make it worth our while. So that's going to be the game plan for tonight. What we've done on this project, probably more than anything, we're going to be cutting and grinding. So tonight we're going to start with getting rid of these mounts and see where we get. So that's the game plan. Let's get to it, and I'll get the grinder, and yep, bye-bye transmission mounts. the trans cross member is officially deleted from the truck. So got both sides of the frame completely removed and smoothed out. All the weld is off. Everything looking good, as you can see. Quite a bit of grindings there. Yeah, so basically just kind of cut around the weld. Had to cut them in half, but cut around the weld and then beat it off, and then I was able to grind the weld down. So then we got our cross member and all of our pieces on the frame for the cross member. So to weigh them, I think this section here at the beginning of the video was like 13.5 pounds. So if I can get Mr. Scale to work and get this to cooperate. Come on. All right, so without the camera hindering me, 27.6 pounds. So I think we were 13.6 pounds when we started. So 14 more pounds that we cut off. So that was 14 pounds just in those brackets there and all the weld and all that. So if we could even cut that 27 pounds in half, we'll be doing good. But we'll see where we get. I can't imagine we're gonna make a 20-pound cross member, but who knows. So 27 pounds, we have a lot of, I think we have a good bit of weight that we can save there. So I'll get to figuring out a mount and all that. Doing this in the middle of August really stinks because it's hot out, which whatever, you sweat, but grinding, yeah, everything just sticks to you, and yeah, it just makes for a sweaty mess. And like I said, you see all the grindings that we had. So that is all over me. Safety glasses are fogging up. What a pain in the butt. Would love to have AC in the garage, but maybe when we get a shop eventually, we will put AC in. But not right now. We got race truck stuff to do. So I'll figure out a cross member. We'll fab that up, get it in, and see how much weight we saved. So guys, excuse the time jump. It is a couple days later. The first day when I started the video, we got all of our shocks, all of our transmission cross member stuff, factory stuff cut out of the truck. All of this stuff right here, our brackets for the side that were on the frame, my cross member I made before. This cross member, if I remember correctly, weighed, what was it, 9 pounds, I think. I think it was 9 pounds. Whatever it was half of what the factory one was, so that was definitely some good weight savings there. But we got rid of all this other stuff, and we are in the plans of determining a way to get rid of this mount here, this bracket here that goes onto the 48RE, and just kind of change everything up like usual in the name of weight saving. So when I got it all out, I didn't have a game plan of exactly how I was going to go about making a mount. I just wanted a fresh canvas, figured I'd figure it out and go from there. So we'll dive under the truck. I'll show you what I made. We'll go from there. We'll weigh it and all that. But I spent a lot of time that night trying to devise my plan, and then the following night kind of carried it out, and then here we are tonight. So not really much to show you as far as like the fabrication or the figuring it all out, but we'll just dive under the truck and I'll show you what we came up with. So I was laying under the truck looking at our lack of transmission mounts here on the frame and all that, and I was trying to figure out like exactly how I wanted to do it and all that, and I just looked back at our rear cross member. I said, you know what, that right there would work out pretty good. I was looking at this piece in particular where we integrated our drive shaft tube into our rear cross member. So what I did was I actually mimicked that, and I just made it a touch shorter. And here we have our new transmission mount. So as you can see, we have a couple tabs on either side. Well, we have 2 tabs on either side. And they kind of come and sit in the corner of the frame here, kind of putting the cross member a little lower to give plenty of clearance for our front drive shaft. I did have the transfer case on the back of the transmission when I figured this out, so we should have plenty of room. I think we actually end up with about the same room, if not a little more than factory. But anyway, plenty of room for the front drive shaft. So that comes up, it does the same thing as a rear cross member, loops up, offsets back down, and then we have some more tabs in the corner of our frame. And then here I have a piece of angle iron that I welded in with a gusset, and then it utilizes these back 2 bolt holes of our 48 RE case. I put the transfer case on the back of the transmission, and then the reason I removed it is because when I fabbed all this up and tacked everything in, I wanted to make sure that the mid plate was true and where it should be, so I didn't want that extra weight hanging off there. And our mid plate, as it sat, everything was flush, as far as our cutout and all that. So I'm fairly confident that it will be perfect for when we get our engine back in on our mid plate and all that. But like I said, piece of angle iron with a gusset, utilizing these back 2 bolt holes. We aren't using the front ones, but everything is very easy to get to. These bolts and all that, I can get the gun on here. So very happy with everything. I can actually get to the transfer case bolts easily. With the factory mount in here, I actually wasn't using this transfer case bolt. There are actually studs on the transfer case that stick through. So rather than using 6 nuts, I just used the 5 that I could get to rather than this one. Not that it's a big deal. All that's doing is holding the transfer case in. So it wasn't ever a problem, but now I guess we will go ahead and utilize that once again. So that is our transmission cross member. I don't know what it weighs. When I had it out to weld it, it is certainly light. I think this cross member might weigh what our other cross member did, if not maybe even a little lighter. Plus we don't have the big bulky back bracketry and all that, and our 2 brackets that I never weighed before that went to our 48, because we are no longer utilizing these front 2 bolt holes for the 48. So it's fairly easy to get out, just pop the bolts out. This one's a little more finicky, I think. Yeah, after we have the transmission in and out a few times, that won't be a problem, I'm sure. And there's our transmission cross member. Well, I weighed I tried to weigh our new transmission cross member on the bathroom scale. It did not register, which means it's under 10 or 15 pounds. I forget what that scale picks up. But I weighed myself and then weighed it. And our new transmission cross member weighs 7.5 pounds. Wow. So 7.5 pounds. That pile of crap was 27.5 pounds, I believe. So we just saved 20 pounds, which is awesome. I mean, we do have some tabs, these little 1/4-inch tabs that we have on there. They're certainly not that much weight, call it 1/2 pound, but we cut 20 pounds out of the truck. Definitely blows my mind, to be honest with you. Coming up with the kind of ingenious way, and I actually stumbled upon doing that little hoop there because I was looking at my work area and I saw the drive shaft hoop in the back. I'm like, why don't you just do the same thing here? Because like I said, I really didn't have much of a game plan. But yeah, so that is another 20 pounds off the race truck, which is awesome. Like I said, I was hoping to get like 10, so we doubled that expectation. I'm super excited about it. That is just phenomenal. When you do something like this and you're not sure going into it how much, if anything, you're going to save, and you wind up like blowing your expectations, that's just a good night in the garage. So it's another 20 pounds off the race truck. The race truck will be getting heavier than it was. So I guess my goal is that when we get our deck plate set up in the truck, that the truck is not heavier than it was before. Hopefully it's lighter, and we're still working on getting towards that 4,400 rolling, 4,400 pound race weight number. But we are off to a good start. So I think the guys at Freedom told me the engine will be approximately 50 pounds heavier. So that's 20 pounds off it right there. Another 30, and we are back to where we were. So yeah, really excited about that. Our new transmission crossmember looks good. It seems like it'll go in and out fairly easily. That one bolt is a little tight or whatever, but we'll have this thing in and out a few times. It'll wear right in, which that's just the nature of the beast. So anyway, very happy with that. We're going to keep cracking along with the race truck and keep cutting weight and figure out things to do to make this thing better, make it faster, make our time at the track more enjoyable, all those kinds of things. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please tell me down in the comments what you think about the new crossmember. And if you're worried about the fact that there's no play in it, we have a mid plate, we have solid engine mounts, so the transmission being able to flex really wasn't a thing. Really, in the factory form, you have these rubber inserts on this rear mount to take up that twist of the engine in the engine mounts. We don't have that anymore, so now everything's just solid and rigid. So I don't think it'll be a problem at all. But comment down below what you guys think. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe down below. Catch you guys in the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrench on your truck.